moreover unrepentant, seeing little need to explain, much less to apologize. Sam M. Gibbons, a Florida Democrat and a member of Powell's committee who voted for his exclusion, commented, "If just once Adam had come in and said, 'I made a mistake,' things might have turned out differently. Instead, he called us all hypocrites and went off to Bimini," a comment, the Times said, that reflected the mood of many of their representatives. However, Elmer J. Holland, a Pennsylvania Democrat, also a member of Powell's committee, found it impossible, he told the House, to shake the conviction that a large part of the intense public campaign against Mr. Powell stems from the fact of his race. And Negro leaders saw his exclusion as a naked act of racism. Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. stated, "If there ever were any doubts about racial motives for the persecution of Congressman Powell, those doubts were ended today." Powell's lawyers contended that because he was duly elected and met the constitutional qualifications for House membership, his exclusion violated the Constitution. With this issue very much in mind, the Select Committee had recommended that he be seated, but censured and fined, a recommendation the House rejected by a narrow margin. Its subsequent vote to exclude him was lopsided. Gerald R. Ford, the House Minority Leader and future president, assured the House that exclusion was a well-established procedure. He cited as precedent the exclusion in 1900 of Brigham H. Roberts, a Mormon elected in Utah, and quoted at length from a committee report in that case whose conclusions, he said, are as valid and appropriate today as they were then. Representative Gibbons cited a second instance of exclusion from the House in this century, that of Victor L. Berger, an anti-war socialist newspaper editor elected in Wisconsin during World War I. But Emanuel Seller, the Select Committee's chairman and longtime chairman of the Judiciary Committee, said, "If I were representing Adam Clayton Powell, I'd take the case to court right away. I think he's got a good case." Others doubted that federal courts would decide the merits of so political a dispute, one arguably assigned by the Constitution to a co-equal branch of government. The Times observed that a historic test in the Supreme Court may be in the offing. The Constitution's requirements. In American democracy, there is no more basic tenet. The people choose in an election the individuals who will represent them in the Congress. The Constitution states that the House of Representatives shall be composed of members chosen by the people of the several states, and the Senate shall be composed of 2 senators from each state, elected by the people thereof. Not every American, to be sure, is eligible to serve in the Congress. The founders wrote into the Constitution age, citizenship, and residency limitations. No person shall be a representative, Article 1, Section 2 states, who shall not have attained to the age of 25 years and been 7 years a citizen of the United States, and who shall not, when elected, be an inhabitant of that state in which he shall be chosen. Slightly more stringent requirements apply to senators. No person shall be a senator who is not at least 30 years old, a citizen for at least 9 years, and, as in the House, an inhabitant of the state from which he was elected. Another provision bars from serving in either House a person who holds any office under the United States during his continuance in office. Article 6 provides a formal prerequisite. The senators and representatives before mentioned shall be bound by oath or affirmation to support this Constitution. The first Congress by statute specified the words of the oath to be taken previous to entering upon any other business. I, A.B., do solemnly swear or affirm, as the case may be, that I will support the Constitution of the United States. After the Civil War, a section of the 14th Amendment, enacted in 1868, added another qualification. Reflecting the deep and continuing divisions created by the war, it barred from serving as a senator or representative, or as a presidential elector, or in any federal or state office, any person who, having previously taken an oath as a member of Congress or as a federal or state official to support the Constitution of the United States, shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same, or given aid or comfort to the enemies thereof. But, this provision continues, Congress may, by a vote of 2/3 of each House, remove such disability. By the close of the 19th century, Congress had enacted statutes that removed